A celebration of NASCAR history. Plenty of drivers in Season 5 that have yet to taste the sweet nectar of victory. Cousin Cody on the inside, Donald Ray on the outside. CorvetteParts.net presents the Darlington Challenge. Green flag is out. Let's go racing. Caution is out on the first lap almost immediately. Greensburg, Kentucky's Briley Wright slamming the inside retaining wall, and that NOS Camry goes for a second hit, possibly a third, trying to avoid New Jersey's Tristan Catania just behind him. So Wright already could be in a spot of trouble. He was involved in that first accident. Let's see what happened to the 18. Oh, he's already well loose out of turn number 2. Look at that. Tom Sears, Jeremy Brio in the CorvetteParts.net machine. Injured as well. DC Houck in the chat, cheering for Donald Ray. Says he's winning tonight. Keen Corvette Parts says it's time. Glad to have the folks from CorvetteParts.net on board. And let's have one more look from the green flag, and let's see just where this occurred. Flag waves. Everybody's going to make it through mostly all right. Let's see if we can have a look with the 18 of Briley. Possibly cold tires just getting loose up out of turn number 2. Seth Wansing behind him in the LSU Impala. Nowhere for the 18 to go. Looks like Terry Gabbard and Tom Sears having their own incident as well. One more look. Keen Corvette Parts says, can our car get a reset? Luckily, there is one fast repair. Jeremy Brio in that 7-4, a piece of this accident. Take a look at Terry Gabbard in the 4. John Honeybrink in the 2-0 car. Also involved here. And just nowhere for Brio to go. He tries to avoid all of this, and he just can't get around it. So the first caution at Darlington involves 4 cars. Cousin Cody Pennell trying to take the points lead away from one Tom Sears, sitting in the 3rd position. That 14 car also sporting some CorvetteParts.net colors on. And if that looks familiar, Tom says he's throwing it back to a Terry Labonte paint scheme from the early 90s. Some of you might remember his black, white, and red Cornflakes Lumina. A couple of hearts in the chat from the folks at CorvetteParts.net. All the love to TJ, Tom, Shane, and everybody else down at the compound in Cleves, Ohio. Tonight they're going to be presenting the race winner with a 124 scale Elite 2018 Matt DiBenedetto throwback. You can check that out on Twitter at Thursday Night Thunder or at Rick James TV. So it looks like we're going to restart once again, and if you've just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Cousin Cody Pennell starting on the pole. He will have control of the field when we come back to green. Donald Ray right behind him, trying to warm up those tires. And it will be a single file restart. Gen 4 cars, Gen 4 rules in Thursday Night Thunder with a twist or two. Lucky dog here or there. But we will have single file restarts, lap down cars to the inside. Tom Sears comes into this race with an 18-point advantage over Cody Pennell. Pennell will restart in first place in that 2-8 Georgia Taurus. He gets a great jump out of turn number 4. Green flag is out and we're racing once again. Cousin Cody out to a half-second advantage into that 3rd corner. Donald Ray behind him. Tom Sears sitting in that 3rd position. Seth Wansing in the LSU Impala sitting in 4th. South Carolina's Jason Alexander, one of 2 hometown drivers, and the Salem, South Carolinian rocking that garnet and black paint scheme of his beloved Gamecocks. Chrome garnet rims as well. Keen Corvette Parts in the chat saying, gotta run. For your information, if anyone's interested in buying something, go to CorvetteParts.net and flag and send the social media DM. Yeah, they're very reachable. $20 each, including shipping. All right, we'll see. We'll get some more information on that. But again, the race sponsors with a little bit of discount as well. Appreciate you, Shane, Tom, TJ, everybody over at CorvetteParts.net. We'll be talking more about them as the night goes on. Cody Pennell leading Donald Ray. The Texan sits behind the Georgian. 0.4 of a second is the gap between them. Tom Sears doesn't have any company. Half a second behind him, 0.7 behind to this pack here. Aiden Norman in the number 62. Making his way through the field, Norman finds himself third in those CorvetteParts.net standings. 15 points ahead of North Carolina's Dustin Painter. Painter, unfortunately, not a part of the starting lineup tonight, so he's going to take a hit in those points, but we'll see just by how much. Cousin Cody Pennell goes purple. 29.90 seconds. He's got the fastest lap of the race. 4 more drivers running a green lap, their personal best. Look at those drivers. You see those big tail whips coming out of that second corner. Almost struggling to contain the beast in those cars. Jeremy Brio in the 74. Having some trouble making his way through the field. Bishop is rolling, trying to enter that giveaway. And let me make this a little bit easier. It probably helps if we start that giveaway. You're going to need an exclamation point right before the code, and that's going to be exclamation point TNT giveaway 9. Let's start that giveaway here. I almost forgot about that. That's my fault. But there we go. Enter exclamation point TNT giveaway 9 for your chance to win a Tide Ride 3-pack diecast. Just one of 16 contests that we're running all season long. Repeat 1975 enters. There it is, exclamation point TNT giveaway 9. Mount Kilimanjaro, he's a winner earlier this season. DC Hauk has entered. Davey, you cannot win. You have competed in Thursday Night Thunder this season. You are ineligible, my friend. DC Hauk cannot win this raffle. Mount Kilimanjaro says Norman on the move, and the 6-2 is gaining positions. He's up 3 spots from where he started. Our hardest charger thus far is going to be Tommy Withers in that number 6 Amoco machine. The Virginian with a win last season in TNT. Coming into this 9th round of competition, not doing so hot points-wise. He sits 11th, just outside the top 10. But it will be a good points day for him if he can sneak into those first 10 drivers on the grid. John Honeybrink sits ahead of the Virginian by only 9 points. And the 20 car was involved in that first lap 1 crash. Honeybrink sitting in 15th, but it is going to be a long race. One of our longer races of the season. And of course, Darlington has now become synonymous with throwback weekend and just running special paint schemes and not trying to wreck the car like Jimmy Kerr just did coming out of turn number 2. Elrich George in the number 40 Miller Lite Dodge gives way to another South Carolinian, one Ryan Pennell from nearby Columbia, South Carolina. A big Georgia Bulldogs fan, if you can believe that, being born and raised in Columbia, spending a lot of time in Myrtle Beach. And at one point, attended Clemson University despite Ryan being a big Georgia fan. He and cousin Cody almost bookending this field. Cousin Cody Pennell leading the way by 1.5 seconds over Donald Ray, who's carved out his own space. There you can see the Texan has a 1 second advantage back to third place. 2-time champion Tom Sears in his Terry Labonte throwback machine. I was talking to some of these guys in practice earlier, saying that the cars almost look even more retro, almost more 90s and 80s without headlights on the front. Kind of an interesting look. Terry Gabbard also rocking that despite not having that much success, and the caution comes out. Speaking of Terry Gabbard, he's been involved in an accident. Elrich George in the 40 and Tommy Withers in the 6 come together out of turn number 2, and that's going to bring out the caution on this 16th lap of competition. Let's see what happened to the Bahamian, the Ohio driver, and the Virginian, and it looks like contact. The Busch car getting maybe a little bit sloppy out of turn number 1, and the South Carolinian, Ryan Pennell, also getting a piece of that, and Uga scratched up on the front of that number 12. Black and red Georgia Taurus. Let's have one more look from Terry Gabbard's point of view. Oh, and this is them already spinning. We're going to have to slow this one down here. And there indeed is the contact. DC Hauk says, yikes, in the chat. Let's have another look. There you can see they're already wrecking down the back straight. There it is. There's a telltale sign right there. John Honeybrink just escaping. Jimmy Kerr tries to get away from it. Not so lucky for one Ryan Pennell. Let's have one more look here. Now he just tries to avoid it, and by hitting the wall actually becomes a bigger part of it than he intended. And Pennell going to get scratched up. So we've got several drivers coming in. Cousin Cody decides to bring his ivory-colored Georgia Taurus down pit lane. That's going to put one Donald Ray at the front of the field. Double champion Tom Sears in second. And Toby Estes rocking his beloved UK on the front. All over that car, I was going to say. On the front, the back. He's got the Wildcat on the front there. One of the Bluegrass Bandits in that third position. Let's see if we can bother the Texan for a quick update on the race. Donald Ray, Rick James up top. Nope, never mind. Let's try this again. There we go. Donald Ray, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
I got you, Rick. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, it's been a while, my friend. Good to see that number 5 GMAC car in the lead. It's really early on. More than 100 laps to go, and we've already got guys involved in a couple yellows. Is it the cold tires? Is it just classic Darlington? What's up?
It's worse on cold tires for sure. Once they heat up, it gets a little more manageable, but still requires a lot of patience around this place. And she's not called the Lady in Black for no reason.
You got a lot of fans in the chat. Davey Hauk really cheering you on. A double champion, Tom Sears behind you. Last season, you managed to get a victory. You're still winless in this 5th season of Thursday Night Thunder, but now there's a little bit added incentive for your drivers. You've got that 2018 throwback diecast at stake. What's it going to take from Donald Ray to end up in victory lane?
It's going to take a lot of patience and a lot of luck, but I do like this place. Confidence is as high here as it is anywhere, so we'll just see what we can do, Rick.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Hopefully we talk to you at the end. Before we go, the most important question of the race, what is your favorite TV show you're watching right now?
Man, I can't wait for it to come back November 13th. It's got to be Yellowstone, man.
Yellowstone. You know, the second guy this week to tell me Yellowstone. I got to check that out, man. Best of luck, Don. Hopefully we talk to you at the end, buddy.
Rick, thanks, sir.
The pride of Rockwall, Texas. A big fan of the Arkansas Razorbacks, as it were. So, Ray, leading the way. Tom Sears in the second position. Toby Estes in the bronze medal spot for now. All of the top 6 have not come down pit road. Briley Wright pitted on lap 2. So all of the top 7 did not pit on the most previous caution. Everybody from 8th on back, including cousin Cody Pennell, fresh tires and fuel. So we're going to see what 18 laps of difference makes on these Generation 4 stock cars. 177 miles to be run tonight. Fans at home, if you just tuned in, don't forget we're giving away that Tide Ride 3-pack. Enter !TNT giveaway 9 for your chance to win that Tide Ride 3-pack diecast. Drivers who have raced before this season with Thursday Night Thunder are ineligible. And, of course, our previous winners are ineligible to win 2 weeks in a row. K-Rex, she's got a chance. She is ready to play for that die-cast as well. Donald Ray in the 5 gets a monster jump out of turn number 4, and we're racing again at the Lady in Black. One quarter of a second, the gap between first and second place. Texas, Massachusetts, Kentucky, your top 3. Donald Ray, the race leader, is in the wall. There goes first place. Tom Sears to the inside. Ray's up against the wall. Toby Estes has been collected. We're still running down the back straight. Aiden Norman into second. Seth Wansing into third. And they continue to spill. There they go. Another Kentucky driver's involved. Look at Jason Alexander avoiding everything. Caution comes out for the 3rd time tonight. And it stems from this individual here. Donald Ray with a scraped up number 5, Ricky Hendrick throwback. And he's running it all season, but it's still one of the better throwbacks that you're going to see all season. Make no mistake. Let's see what happened here. Donald Ray getting into the wall after the first lap of racing. Green flag came out, and then it just all went upside down. Let's have a look here. Raising the wall, scraping it up. And you can see he's really trying to keep it off the wall. Toby Estes just doesn't give him enough berth, but Toby's racing. It's just Darlington. What can you do? And I think Ray tries to enter pit lane, and he doesn't see the second of 2 Bluegrass Bandits tonight. The 18 of Briley Wright, nowhere for him to go. One more look here if we can see. Let's try and ride on board with Donald Ray. And this is out of turn number 4. Just keep your eye on the hands. Can't do a thing. But how about the 56? My man in the 5-6, Jason Alexander, just coolly avoiding that one right there. One more look. Watch the hands. Throws the brakes on, gives it a skid, and avoids colliding with the 5 of Donald Ray. And let's give the hometown flavor a little bit of love. Jason Alexander earned his very own Cole Trickle move of the race.
Ice cream!
Give me some of them!
Race leader is Tom Sears. The 2-time Thursday Night Thunder champion sits ahead of Aiden Norman. 3rd in the points, Norman has 2 wins this season, just like the 2-time champion who's at the front of the field. But perhaps Sears knows something that Norman doesn't. Let's find out. Tom Sears, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
I got a copy.
You're leading this race early on, but we've got 3 yellow flags in the first 25 laps. Donald Ray says it's a mixture of cold tires and it's just classic Darlington. It takes patience and concentration. What's happening with all these yellows, Tomo?
I think, first of all, it's Darlington, which is one of the hardest ovals in the world. Second of all, I think guys are just a little bit antsy right now. It is really early. We have a long way to go, but maybe a little bit more patience on trying to make moves. I'm not sure.
Going green next time by. Tomo, best of luck, but the question that all the fans want to know, buddy, what's your favorite TV show you're watching right now?
I'm not watching a TV show right now, but I am listening to the Ancient History of Egypt podcast. It's fantastic. Very
Good to know.
interesting.
That ancient history podcast. All right, man. Well, I don't know anything about Darlington history in the 14 car here, but you might be the first 14 car to get a victory in ARCs. Keep the shiny side up, Tomo. At least at Darlington, I should say. Get the victory in ARCs. Keep the shiny side up. Hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Thanks, Rick.
Should really brush up on my Thursday Night Thunder history. Has the 14 car won at Darlington before? Who knows? It's a question for the historians. But the question right now is, will Tom Sears be able to hold on to this lead? Aiden Norman sits in second, Seth Wansing in third. The pace car peels off. The Massachusetts driver will have control of the field. He waits for the signal from the flagman, holding everybody back, crawling off that fourth corner. Now he stabs the gas pedal. The front end points towards the sky. Green flag is out and we're racing again. Tom Sears leading lap 27 at the Darlington Raceway with Aiden Norman behind him. Both of these drivers with 4 wins. Seth Wansing running a part-time schedule this season, running in that third position, trying to bring his beloved LSU Tigers to victory, and defending champion Weehawken, New Jersey's Thomas Andrews with a big tail whip out of turn number 2. Here comes Cody Pennell. Of the drivers that pitted on lap 17, he leads all of them out of that fourth corner. Jeremy Brio also putting those tires to work. The number 74 goes to the inside of Tommy Withers. The Virginian Withers now in 9th. He's still gained the most positions thus far, a total of 8 since the green flag has flown. Defending champion Thomas Andrews now coming after Cody Pennell, despite the fact that Pennell has those fresher tires at the front. Tom Sears being hounded by Aiden Norman, the 6'2 Dodge, trying to get his 3rd win, and he's right up the backside of the 213simware.com Chevy. Through that first corner, down to the low side, and almost giving it a 4-wheel drift out of turn number 2. The battle for first continues to rage. Brio to the inside of Alexander in the South Carolina Impala, and Jeremy Brio picks off another. He puts his CorvetteParts.net Chevrolet into the 7th position. Briley Wright and reigning champion Thomas Andrews side by side discussing the 5th position. Wright in 5th, Andrews in 6th, and they've got a mirror full of purple race car. Jeremy Brio really watching Thomas Andrews get around, but keep it pointed. 62 to the lead, but not for long. He's into the outside retaining wall. Sears finds Moonlight to the inside, and the Southampton, Massachusetts driver leads lap 31. Seth Wansing backs out of her. He's sitting now in the 4th position, while cousin Cody Pennell, with tires that are 17 laps more fresh than the competition, has put fear into them all. There goes Aiden Norman right into the outside retaining wall, momentarily 3 wide down the back straight. Cody Pennell keeps his composure, and he puts the Georgia Bulldogs into the 2nd position. LSU Tigers in 3rd, and the Infantry Racing League with Aiden Norman relegated down to 4th. It's a 1.5 second gap between Norman and Wright. One of those 2 Bluegrass Bandits we've been talking about tonight, Toby Estes in the number 7-8 Kentucky Wildcats machine, now trying to draft and slingshot around Thomas Andrews. Estes does have the most fresh tires tonight. That 78 UK car pitted on lap 23. Donald Ray, who got involved in that accident, he finds himself on the lead lap. Ray pitted under that same caution. And the Texan had a strong grip on first place before the wall reached out and grabbed him. But the GMAC machine doing well. There it is, fight for the lead. Pennell dives to the inside, and the Georgian wants a piece of the Massachusetts lead. He's got it all to himself out of turn number 4. Car 2-8, new leader at Darlington. "35 laps underway. Cody Pennell making great use of that slingshot out of turn number 4. Let's have one more look at the pass. Textbook. And so difficult trying to stay on that apron without upsetting the balance of the race car. Pennell pulls it off quite perfectly. Mount Kilimanjaro in the chat says, nice 4-car battle. Aiden Norman at the very back of that 4-car battle. Further on back, Jeremy Brio, Toby Estes sitting 6th and 7th respectively, with Briley Wright just ahead. There goes Tom Sears making contact. Seth Wansing takes advantage, shoots to the inside. Aiden Norman now into the bronze medal position. And the Kansas City native now up to 2nd. That's Seth Wansing in the LSU machine. Jeremy Brio just diving to the inside, splitting those Bluegrass Bandits right in the 18. Estes in the 78. Brio into that 5th position, and Briley Wright now starting to fade outside the top 6. DC Hauk in the chat says, Cody said, I'm out. Says, guys, one of the best. He absolutely is. An incredible win percentage for him in his part-time Season 4 campaign. Cody Pennell once again coming into this race 2nd in the point standings, 18 markers behind Tom Sears. Pennell leading this race by over 1.5 seconds. Further on back, Tom Sears trying to reclaim some of that lost real estate in the top 5. The 2-time champion is down to the 6th position. Briley Wright right behind him in that 7th spot. The 5-6 of Jason Alexander bringing a little bit of South Carolina love into the top 8. The Salem native trying to put that Gamecocks Impala further up through the field, while Toby Estes makes hay while the moon shines over Darlington. Jeremy Brio puts another Darlington stripe on the right-hand side of his CorvetteParts.net 74. Let's have a look. And another one for good measure. Three-tenths of a second. Greensburg, Kentucky's Toby Estes trying to put those Wildcats right alongside the leading Georgia Bulldogs. Estes looking to crack the top 3. Aiden Norman scoots to the top side, makes way for one of those Bluegrass Bandits, and Toby Estes quickly slots into that 3rd position. Jason Alexander looking to assume the 6th spot over another one of those Bluegrass Bandits. Briley Wright sits in that 6th position. Behind Alexander, Donald Ray in the 17th position. 3 laps off the mark, but the lucky dog is in effect in Thursday Night Thunder. A couple of cautions, and Donald Ray will be right as rain on the lead lap once again. But look at the pace from the GMAC Chevrolet, trying to do it the hard way, going around 2 race cars on the outside. Donald Ray still in 17th, but fighting for everything he can. The marked up 74 of Jeremy Brio, running in the 5th position, will now make way for Donald Ray. There's the race leader, Cody Pennell. Last time around, Pennell running 31.91 seconds. Donald Ray 31.18. The Texan, despite being 3 laps off the mark, 0.8 of a second faster than race leader Cody Pennell. Toby Estes, however, has been on a rampage over the last 5 laps. There you can see Pinnell has been slower than Estes for 3 of those laps. The Wildcats only 3/4 of a second behind Pinnell. DC Hauk reminding us he pitted. He sure did. Cody Pinnell possibly conserving some of those tires, but Toby Estes saving nothing, leaving nothing to chance. Here comes the pilot of the 7-8 Kentucky Wildcats Impala, all over the back end of that 28 Bulldogs Ford Taurus, battle for the lead on lap 44. The battle lived shorter than the hype. New leader in that 7-8, quite presumptuously, Toby Estes just sailing on by. Is Estes gambling on a caution? Is he trying out some strategy, possibly forcing the 28 to chase him? But look who's behind Pinnell now. Donald Ray in the 5. He pitted on lap 34, and he's about to get around race leader Toby Estes. Ray about to put himself 2 laps down, and if a yellow comes out, Ray will be 1 lap down. A lot of strategy happening early on, just under 100 laps to go from the Lady in Black. Estes top side, Ray to the inside, and the Texan doing it the hard way. Half a second between these drivers. Jason Alexander in that 4th position. He's now coming up to Seth Wansing in the 9, and how about this for a hometown run? Alexander from nearby Salem, South Carolina is 7th in those CorvetteParts.net points standings, coming up behind the 9 of Seth Wansing. Wansing on a part-time schedule this year, but having an excellent top 5 run so far. Aiden Norman behind them. And how about Briley Wright, who got involved in a second accident today? 8 seconds off the lead. Briley Wright just 1.5 seconds off the battle for 5th. Here comes Alexander, the South Carolina Impala, on the inside of the LSU machine, and he makes light work of the Missouri native, Seth Wansing, the Tigers fan. Now trying to recuperate that 3rd position, but it's a lost cause. Aiden Norman now next to come up behind him. If he can stay off the wall, Norman putting another big black stripe on the right side of that 6-2. Norman trying to come down pit road. He has yet to pit. We're on lap 50 now, coming in with a head full of steam. Just over 60 miles an hour as he crosses the line. Aiden Norman possibly starting our green flag pit cycle, and according to those track facts, Norman's right on time. Looks like defending champion Thomas Andrews is also on his way in. Andrews currently in the 14th position, so the drivers will surrender the lead lap. There is Toby Estes, pacing the field by 0.4 over Cody Pinnell. Central Florida's Richie Catania gains a spot. He's on the outside of Tom Sears, who will decide it's now his time to come down pit road. Younger brother Tristan in the 7th position. James Kerr the 3rd scraping up the wall. Elrich George, how about the Bahamian, the native of Nassau, in the number 40 Miller Lite Dodge. He's now in the top 10. Great run for him. Cody Pennell still within striking distance to Toby Estes. There goes Toby Estes into the wall, and the magic has probably gone from those tires. Cody Pennell, new leader once again. Thomas Andrews leaves pit road with fresh tires, and we'll just have to compare some of these lap times. Estes has decided it's his turn to come in 30 laps from that previous pit stop, and the gamble for the caution probably not paying off in the way he'd hoped. Briley Wright is in. John Honeybrink, the Talladega winner, brings his Interstate Batteries Pontiac down pit road. Jason Alexander, one of two South Carolinians in tonight's field, now up to the second position. Ryan Pennell up to 13th, 1 lap off the pace. Pennell pitting on lap 31, so it's been 23 laps since the Columbia South Carolinian has gotten tires and fuel. Pennell in the 12, trying to catch up to Wansing. There you see Donald Ray ahead of Pennell, getting around Elrich George down the back straight. Ray, 2 laps off the pace, but with the pace he's been running, he's in good position if a caution comes out to be ready to get on the lead lap. Speaking of lead lap, how about Jason Alexander now pacing the field? He is new leader under this green flag pit stop cycle. Let's go around for a couple laps with the South Carolinian. He's going to take us for a tour of Darlington. Still leading the way, Jason Alexander has not come down since lap 17, possibly trying to stretch these tires for as far as they'll go. All of the top 5, including one Ricardo Catania, still has yet to come down for service. James Kerr III, younger brother Tristan Catania, and Bahamian Elrich George, who's now into the wall trying to give way for Briley Wright, Tom Sears, and Tom Andrews, who almost gives it a bad skid out of turn number 4. George sitting in 5th, hoping the yellow will come out and the gamble will pay off. Anything is possible at the Darlington Raceway. We'll just have to wait and see. Tom Sears up to the 10th spot, 1 lap off the pace. Again, all of the top 5 yet to come down pit road for their service. If a caution flies, it will be the gamble of the season. Elrich George puts another Darlington stripe on the starboard side of the Miller Lite Dodge. Ryan Pennell with a blink behind him. Alexander is in. Here comes race leader Jason Alexander. It's his turn for tires and fuel. Richie Catania, if he stays out, will inherit the race lead. The 2-4 DuPont Chevrolet through 3 and 4 will avoid pit road, and Catania will indeed inherit the race lead. Jimmy Kerr into that second position. He's up 14 places from where he started as he slams into the wall. Tries to say hi to some fans down the back straight. And if now wasn't the best time to come down pit road, I'm not sure, Jim. The number 75 Impala slow through 3 and 4, just trying to walk it off. But a hit like that is going to need a couple of minutes on the bench. Jimmy, come down pit road, get the damage fixed. 61 laps underway at the Darlington Raceway. Jimmy Kerr sits on tires that are 42 laps old. Ricky Catania still leading the race. 3 seconds is the gap between him and James Kerr. His younger brother Tristan in the ARC's Camaro sits in that third position. Bahamian Elrich George still holding on to fourth, but look who's in fifth. Cousin Cody Pennell last time around with a 30.63 second lap. Richie Catania 32.57. As near as makes no difference, a 2-second gap between first and fifth place. 30 laps of difference between the race leader in the 2.4 and the Georgian in the 2.8. One of two Kentucky pilots in tonight's 9th round of competition. Briley Wright, half a second behind two-time champion Tom Sears. Last time around, Wright 3/10 off the pace of the Massachusetts driver. The 14 in that 9th spot. Repeat 1975 just resubscribed with Prime. Appreciate you, Pete. Man, this guy taught me just about everything I know. Pete, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for everything you do. And thank you for that subscription once again. Fans, if you don't know about Repeat, twitch.tv/Repeat1975. Just like me, the man is on the Sim Racing channel on Roku, where you can catch a lot of Thursday Night Thunder racing, a lot of truck racing as well. The ARC's Saturday Night Showdown is on the Sim Racing channel on Roku. Be sure to give them a follow and a look. Tommy Withers trying to chase down Jason Alexander. He's 10.5 seconds off the pace. The South Carolinian now working on the New Jersey driver, Thomas Andrews, the Season 4 champion. 0.2 of a second ahead of the South Carolinian. Alexander, 11th in the race. He finds himself 7th in those points. Only 12 markers off of Jeremy Brio. Brio currently running in the 17th position, as it were. Scored out of this race. Jason Alexander moves into the top 10. Thargrove enters the giveaway. He says exclamation point TNT giveaway 9. And he receives a ticket in that giveaway. Fans, if you have not seen it yet, check it out on Twitter at RickJamesTV or on Thursday Night Thunder's Twitter. The prize we're giving away for one fan tonight, not one diecast, but 3 diecasts. That Tide Ride 3-pack up for grabs, and Keen Parts presenting the winner of tonight's race with an awesome 2018 Elite Throwback diecast. That Matt DiBenedetto, that's a mouthful. The Matt DiBenedetto, there it is again. Matt DiBenedetto. I'm going to trip myself up trying to say this. That throwback diecast you can also check out on Twitter as well. Going to get through these syllables one way or another. Pennell leading the race by 4.5 seconds now. He's been absolutely dominant. Toby Estes in the UK Wildcats Chevrolet sits in second. Tommy Withers not in the third position. Withers currently running in 9th. He's the first car 1 lap down. So if the yellow flag comes out, Withers will receive the Lucky Dog Award. Aiden Norman behind him in the third position. Norman racing Toby Estes for position, and 3 seconds off of this man here, the Louisiana State University Tigers Chevrolet of Seth Wansing. Further on back, Tristan Catania coming up behind Jimmy Kerr III. JK3 currently sits in the 11th spot. 7 seconds off of John Honeybrink. There is the number 20 Interstate Batteries Pontiac off the 4th corner. Drivers really spread out now. There's a 9-second gap between Honeybrink and Withers. That's the fight for first car, 1 lap down. Toby Estes with a huge tail slide out of turn number 2. Aiden Norman now in prime position. Estes now coming down pit road. This only 17 laps after coming down. Possibly some different pit strategy here, but Toby Estes will bring the Wildcats Impala into the pits. I'm sorry, that's a Monte Carlo, not an Impala. It says so right on the front. So it's tires and fuel for Estes. That leaves an 8-second difference between Aiden Norman in second, Cody Pennell in first, who's looking to put Donald Ray another lap down, and the 13th place Texan driver now 2 laps off the mark. Defending champion Thomas Andrews, the last car on the lead lap as he continues to slide out of turn number 2. It's so impressive the way he hangs on to that, really. 4 seconds ahead, 2-time champion Tom Sears in the number 14 CorvetteParts.net Lumina. Sits just behind Tristan Catania, although that's not for position. Tristan currently running in 11th, 1 lap off the pace. Tom Sears, 1.8 seconds behind this man as Tristan Catania slams the wall heavily out of turn number 2. And he brings the mass of that Chevrolet Camaro up to the steel and foam barrier. He does it again in turns 3 and 4, possibly trying to go for a swim in the minnow pond. He stays in the wall, out of the way of the 2-time champion, down onto the left side of the racing surface. And hats off to the New Jersey driver, avoiding an accident. Kermit time in the chat says, let's go Norman, cheering for the 6-2 of Aiden, sitting second in the running order right now. 9.6 seconds, a third of a lap behind Cody Pennell, and Pennell looking to gain maximum points and really close up the lead. 18 points is the difference between Tom Sears leading the standings, currently running 6th. And there goes Ryan Pennell for a spill out of turn number 2. Keeps it off the racing surface. And the Columbia South Carolinian keeps it in fine racing fashion. The number 12 in 15th. 4 laps off the pace. But that never say die attitude runs strong in that Georgia Bulldog Taurus. On the other end of the spectrum, here comes Toby Estes around Cody Pennell. Estes pitting most recently on lap 70. Possibly trying to gamble for a caution, trying to throw the pit cycle upside down. Estes finds himself in 12th, 1 lap down. Elrich George, Tommy Withers have crashed. There is the caution, and the gamble pays off for Estes. Tommy Withers, Elrich George coming together, the Virginian in the Amico Grand Prix, and the Nassau Bahamian in the Miller Lite Dodge, crashing out of turn number 2. Drivers pitting before this yellow include Jimmy Kerr III, Tristan Catania, Toby Estes, who pitted on lap 70, Ryan Pennell, Richie Catania, Elrich George recently pitting, but he was involved in that accident. The gamble pays off, and on lap 75, the caution flies over Darlington. We've seen this before. One car gets into the wall out of turn number 2. Another car just can do nothing to avoid him. The 6 and the 40 come together. Let's have another look. On board with Elrich George. Just really nothing you could do at a time like that. Cody Pennell comes down into the pits. Thomas Andrews choosing not to come down pit road. Toby Estes, who up until now had the most fresh tires, will be sitting in the 12th position, back on the lead lap. Cody Pennell will come out on lap 78, still with the race lead. So we're going to have to shuffle these positions around. We're going to see who goes where in the running order. And we'll be back. Getting ready to go racing once again. Cody Pennell with control of the field. We're going to have 49 laps to go in the 9th round of competition. Aiden Norman in second, Seth Wansing in third. Watch for the Georgian to get a big jump down the front straight. There it is. Let's go racing again from the lady in black. Cody Pennell with a grand lead, already 0.7 of a second with 48 to go. Seth Wansing chasing down Aiden Norman, this for second. Briley Wright, look at this hornet's nest here. Tom Sears in the middle of all of this. Jason Alexander in the 5-6. Ryan Pennell gets a big slide out of turn number 2, and the South Carolinian watches the train go around the outside. One UGA quite happy at the front of the field. The other UGA a bit sore as the field goes around him. There's the happy UGA right there, Cody Pennell. 1 second ahead of Aiden Norman, trying to hold off Seth Wansing. Further on back, James Kerr just ahead of Thomas Andrews in that number 2 car. Here's Thomas Sears trying to get back into the top 5. The 2-time champion really making good use of those fresh tires. Briley Wright just went green, 30.01 seconds. One of those 2 Bluegrass Bandits into 4th, the other in 8th. And he's into the wall immediately. Jason Alexander to his inside. There goes Richie Catania. Tom Sears involved. John Honeybrink involved. Caution flies for the 5th time tonight. Jimmy Kerr III gets a piece of that one. So the 5th caution is out over Darlington, and we'll have to have a look and see what brought this on. And by then, they're already crashing and spinning. Kurt just couldn't avoid the 2-4 of Richie Catania. Let's have a look. There you see Toby Estes already in the wall. Not sure where Jason Alexander went. What caused that sort of contact or that... Oh, there it is. Just Alexander just trying to avoid the 2-4. To no avail. Just another one of those cases. Just driver gets into the wall, can't do anything to avoid it, and neither can anybody else. Tommy Withers having to slow right down to avoid all of these cars. And the caution flies for the 5th time tonight. So Aiden Norman now with the race lead, approaching the final 40 laps of competition. Let's see what he thinks so far. Aiden Norman, Rick James in the booth. Can you hear me? Aiden Norman, Rick James up top. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
There we go, buddy. You're leading the race ahead of Missouri's Seth Wansing. Kentucky's Briley Wright sits in the 3rd position. You've won 2 races so far, and the 2-time champion, Tom Sears, who's the only driver on the grid to equal your victories in this 5th campaign, is now suffering heavy damage. What's it going to take for you to score your hat trick tonight?
I know my main competition is Cody Pennell, so more than likely he'll need to get caught up in something, but I can't say I wish that on him. I'm just, looking for a little bit of luck.
We're going to restart inside the final 50 laps of competition. Drivers have 4 sets of tires. How many have you used? Are you saving one for the very end?
Oh, I always save one for the end, Rick.
Always, you gotta have that, just in case of emergencies. You gotta have that emergency tire for sure.
Of course.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. All right. So you got Seth Wansing behind you. You said Cody Pennell's going to be your toughest challenge on the way to victory. Now the most important question all the fans are dying to know, Aiden. What's your favorite TV show that you're watching so far?
Oh, I'm not watching one right now, but Vikings is really good. I watched that a while back.
We'll have to check out Vikings. All right, man. Keep the shiny side up, and hopefully we talk to you at the end.
All right, thank you, Rick.
A winner at Sonoma and a winner at Pocono in this 5th season of Thursday Night Thunder. Mount Kilimanjaro is a fan of Vikings as well. Fans at home, read the screen. If you haven't yet, put in your chance to win. Enter !TNT Giveaway 9 for your chance to win that Tide Ride 3-pack diecast. We're going green next time by. Aiden Norman will have control of the field. Seth Wansing in the 2nd position. All of the top 5 choosing not to pit under this most recent yellow. It's going to be a scramble to the very end. There it is. Green flag is out. Aiden Norman with control of the field gets a huge jump on Seth Wansing, and look at the field behind. Leaving an immense trail in his wake, and some batteries running low. Aiden Norman leading Seth Wansing by a quarter of a second. Norman goes high. Wansing finds Moonlight underneath. Kermitine says, has Norman stopped yet? It doesn't matter now. Caution is out. JK3 possibly involved John Honeybrink. Definitely got a piece in the number 20 Pontiac. Shout out to, is it Kermitine or Kermitine? Tell me how you pronounce your name, Kermit. But anyway, Kermit following here recently. Appreciate you, Kermit. Let's see what happened to the Talladega winner, John Honeybrink. Loose out of turn number 2, side-swiping Tommy Withers. 2 Pontiacs coming together, and look at Tristan Catania. Nowhere for him to go. That's just nothing you could do. On board Tristan Catania. Let's go on board Ryan Pinnell. And the Georgia fan, the South Carolinian, doesn't even flinch as the cars go just out of his view. So Aiden Norman still with control of the field. Seth Wansing still behind him. Tom Sears, Toby Estes coming down. Tommy Withers obviously having to come down to repair some of that damage. We'll see if he leaves pit road under this cycle. Aiden Norman, your leader. Seth Wansing in second. The Missouri driver running a sparse schedule, but showing good strength tonight. Seth, Rick James in the booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy, buddy.
Sitting in second inside of the final 40 laps of competition. You last pitted on lap 78. Cousin Cody Pinnell in the 5th position, just pitted on lap 91. Are you saving the tires for the very end? And if so, who do you have to beat?
Gotta beat Cody. Gotta beat Aiden. Toby's back. Donald Ray's pretty fast if he gets back on the lead lap here. But got a top 5 or 6 car for sure. Gonna try to get more out of it. Feeling a little under the weather, but it's driving pretty good, and that makes all the problems go away, right? So, got it rocking your LSU scheme you made for me, and but we'll see. Hoping to catch a couple more cautions here to be able to use those tires. I did not know Cody took tires there, so that is that's dope information, buddy. Thank you. But we shall see, man. Either way, it's been a really fun night. Glad I've been able to stay consistent and keep it fairly clean.
Possible flu game performance in the works. It's a Dodge, Chevy, Toyota top 3. And the most important question of the evening for you in your LSU Tigers paint scheme, what's your favorite TV show you're watching right now?
Oh, man, you're putting me under pressure there. Favorite TV show I'm watching? Probably... Damn. I just watched Designated Survivor. Finished that over the summer, and that was pretty good. So I'll go with Designated Survivor.
Shout out to Designated Survivor, Seth. Keep the shiny side up, and hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Thank you, sir.
The two-time A-squared champion will be restarting in the 2nd position. Rockwall's Donald Ray sits in 12th, 2 laps off the pace. And if you weren't here in the first half of the race, he was having a blistering performance at the front, caught up in some yellows, but shame on you if you slept on the Texan. He is in position to come back and just maybe fight for this win. Aiden Norman looking for win number 3 this season. He'll have control when we come back to the green. The flagman eagerly awaits the rush of 16 stock cars to fly past with 35 laps remaining. Norman gets the jump. Green flag is out and we're racing again. Norman leading. There's Jason Alexander. He's in that 4th position. Alexander sitting ahead of Thomas Andrews and Cody Pennell, who are side by side. The battle for second. The battle for second does not rage on, but Donald Ray looking to stay up towards the front. He's got Seth Wansing to his inside. The Kansas City native has to back out to avoid contact. The Kentucky driver, Briley Wright, comes up right under the shadow of the rear spoiler. The LSU Chevrolet trying to hold off that NOS Impala. Thomas Andrews in 6th. He's got Toby Estes behind him in that 7-8. Estes running some of the fastest laps of the evening. Tom Sears alongside Richie Catania. This not for position as Catania finds himself in 14th. 4 laps off the pace, but he's battling this driver here, Elrich George, who's also 4 laps off the mark. The Bahamian with a wide slide out of turn number 2. Cousin Cody easily makes his way around the dark blue Miller Dodge. JK3 on the inside of 2-time champion Tom Sears, who's just trying to salvage a top 10 finish. Once again, these are the points coming into this race. Put everything on hold. Donald Ray, purple, 29.88 seconds, and now unlapping himself. Donald Ray, now there he is in the wall after unlapping himself, and just as easily as he gets around the leader, he puts another Darlington stripe on the right-hand side of that GMAC Chevrolet. And a fastest lap won't do much if you can't string it together. Donald Ray still in 12th. 2 laps off the pace. Tom Sears once again battling with Curd. That's Thomas Andrews now going down to 9th. The defending champion on the fringes of the top 10. Aiden Norman now in this 3-way fight for the lead. Seth Wansing behind him. Briley Wright in 3rd. Jason Alexander in the shadows. Dodge, Chevy, Toyota, your top 3. 30 laps to go. This time by, will there be another caution? Are there any tires left? Aiden Norman said he was saving a set. Seth Wansing, possibly one more in reserve. Briley Wright, Jason Alexander, all of the top 4 not pitting since lap 78. Toby Estes sits in 5th ahead of Cody Pennell. Has he exhausted all of the tires? Defending champion Thomas Andrews has decided to come down pit lane. Not the performance he was expecting this evening. Aiden Norman, top side, now defending Seth Wansing. Coming behind him, Wansing trying to shoot to the inside. Briley Wright is there, quickly approaching the final 25. Cody Pennell is in. Here comes the final set of tires on the 2-8 car, as does the 2, and now the challenge is certainly on. Do these drivers wait to the very end? The gauntlet has been thrown down with 29 circuits remaining. Aiden Norman, 2 wins this season. Everybody in the top 5, from 2nd to 5th, I should say, winless. Don't forget, that 2018 Matt DiBenedetto throwback diecast is the winner for the prize tonight. Fans at home, you still have a chance. If you haven't yet, enter !TNT giveaway 9 for your chance to win that Tide Ride 3-pack diecast. Tonight's winner will be ineligible to win next week when we have our 10th giveaway of the season. Next week's going to be Lime Rock. That's right, Lime Rock. I said it. Norman leading Wansing by 1/2 of a second. Further on back, Elrich George just been overtaken by Ricardo Catania. Richie now sneaking up into lucky number 13th position. He's some laps behind Donald Ray, but nevertheless will continue to fight. Thomas Andrews goes green, 30.27 seconds, his personal best this evening. Davy Jones in the chat says, repeat, get it for Davy Jones. You know he loves Ricky Rudd. Davy really wants these tied diecasts we're giving away. Seth Wansing, 0.3 of a second ahead of Briley Wright. This is coming out of turn number 4. Aiden Norman just starting to slip away, but yet to come down pit road. 25 laps remain at Darlington. Briley Wright in third. Jason Alexander only 1/2 a second behind the Bluegrass Bandit. Donald Ray gets into the wall again. He has to unstick himself from it. Toby Estes feathering the throttle as he comes down the back straight. Not sure what to do, but Ray gets it back in order. The Texan starting in second, currently running in 12th. Wansing starting in 4th. He's up to second. Our hardest charger of the evening, Jimmy Kerr III, who's up to the 7th position. Jimmy started in 16th. 106 laps ago. Good run for Kerr. When will the leaders pit? It's been about 30 laps since they last came down. The fuel able to go 45 to 55 laps, but the tires won't last anywhere near that long. Wansing in second, Norman in first. Over the last 5 laps, there's your gap. There is your gap. Norman slowly but surely eking out the lead over Wansing, and from Wansing to Wright. Norman making contact with the wall outside turn number 4. Look at Wansing, he's right there. Norman possibly bending the toe out of the car, but now the three-way fight for the lead really heats up with 21 laps to go, this time by Jason Alexander, and Toby Estes can now see and read the decals on the race cars ahead. Anticipation grows between the top 3. Cousin Cody Pennell also on the move. He goes to the inside of John Honeybrink. This for the 8th position. Pennell right under that white dashed line into turn number 1, giving everything he can in this Georgia Taurus. Let's ride shotgun with the Good Hope native. Toby Estes looks like he gets in the wall one more time. Seth Wansing has crashed. The Missouri pilot has crashed. Big piece of race car comes off the 9. No caution. Must have been a one-car incident. Aiden Norman leading Briley Wright by 1.3 seconds. Toby Estes decides to come down pit road. Let's see what happened to the Kansas City native. He gets into turn 2. Just couldn't control the race car. Have a look. Nothing Seth Wansing could do. He just got into the wall. His evening, barring a late race yellow, has gone up in smoke under the Palmetto State lights. Seth Wansing on a part-time schedule with the drive of the season in tatters. Aiden Norman, coming to 17 laps to go, has a 1.9 second lead over Briley Wright. Cody Pennell, 36 seconds adrift of the race leader. Last pitting on lap 101, Aiden Norman. Last pitting on lap 78. That time around, Aiden Norman with a 31.20 lap. Cody Pennell, 31.32. Pennell just not quick enough. Riley Wright, 31.57. He's 0.3 slower than Norman. What will it take? Kermatine says Norman is the best driver here, no doubt. Well, you may gain the ire of some fans and other drivers in Thursday Night Thunder who would say otherwise, but in his rookie season, Norman proving himself one of the better rookies in Thursday Night Thunder. 15 laps remain, and if a late race caution comes out, Norman says he has one tire left in reserve, and that emergency tire could really help him out if the yellow flag flies once again. Jimmy Kerr all over the back end of Tom Sears, who is resurrecting that late race run. Mount Kilimanjaro asking, why no caution for Wansing? A one-car incident. One-car crashes do not warrant the yellow flag. Incidents involving 2 cars or more will bring the caution out onto the racetrack. Jimmy Kerr up to the 12th position. Sears still running in the top 5, while Cody Pennell is 8 seconds behind him. 36 seconds the gap to Aiden Norman. Pennell, the first car, 1 lap down and 4 seconds ahead of Briley right now. Jason Alexander, the hometown flavor, he sits in 3rd. 21 seconds ahead of Kerr. Alexander could be in position to get another podium. Kermatine saying, I'm still waiting for Watkins Glen or Indy. That'll be my first race in the league, and it looks like Jason Alexander has decided it's his turn to come down pit road. The Salem, South Carolinian making his final stop of the evening with lucky number 13 laps to go. Norman putting Tom Sears now 1 lap down. Sears becoming the first car 1 lap off the pace. Cody Pennell sitting 4 seconds behind him, and this could be a very important fight if we're thinking about late race cautions. Tom Sears up to the 4th position. Aiden Norman leading Briley Wright by 6 seconds now, despite both of these drivers having tires that should be worn right around the same. Norman just putting on a masterclass in these final laps. Tom Sears in 4th. Cody Pennell in 5th. Seth Wansing with those fresh tires, now looking to get around Donald Ray. This for a finish in the top 10. Wansing certainly not done by any stretch of the imagination. Fans at home, if you still have not entered for your chance to win that diecast, exclamation point TNT giveaway 9 for your chance to win that Tide Ride 3-pack. You can find pictures of that on Twitter, and the prize for tonight's race winner, that number 32, Keen Parts Ford. That Matt DiBenedetto throwback, courtesy of the good folks over at CorvetteParts.net. Cody Pennell gets around Tom Sears and moves into 4th. Tristan Catania spins down the back straight. We stay green with 10 laps to go. The New Jersey pilot going for a spin. Mount Kilimanjaro says a lot of SEC cars, and you better believe it. A lot of fans of SEC teams in Thursday Night Thunder. Jason Alexander could not avoid the spinning Tristan Catania. 1 car spinning. Alexander looks like he gets into the back of Catania, but we stay green. 8 laps to go next time by. There's Aiden Norman leading Briley Wright by 8 seconds. Jimmy Kerr is in 3rd. Here comes cousin Cody on a rampage. Still 36 seconds between Pinnell and Norman. Phil says, I wouldn't mind seeing a Big Ten car. Who knows, maybe we've got a couple Big Ten fans in TNT that wouldn't mind running a Big Ten livery here or there. 7 to go. Next time around, anything still possible. Briley Wright in second. Jimmy Kerr in third. Thomas Andrews now sneaking up on John Honeybrink, the defending champion, looking to make a top 5 run. Thargrove says SEC only. David Houck waiting for his Tennessee Volunteers paint scheme. A lot of fans of college football in the chat here tonight as well. Andrews now working on Honeybrink. Jimmy Kerr being worked on by Cody Pinnell. Cousin Cody up into third. Thomas Andrews looking to crack the top 5. 6 to go next time by. Thargrove, a fan of the Tennessee Volunteers also. Here comes Jason Alexander looking to salvage a top 6. Alexander possibly getting around Honeybrink. Moves to the inside and will just sneak around. Talk about a drive for Alexander. Comes into this race 7th in the point standings. Alexander easily in 6th, and he might just take 5th away from Thomas Andrews. How about a top 5 for the Salem South Carolinian? Good run for him. Meanwhile, Norman opens up his lead to 11 seconds, coming to 4 laps to go. Drivers peppered all over the racetrack. Not a lot of close battles. Thomas Andrews gets into the safer barrier with John Honeybrink behind him. 6th, not safe for the New Jersey driver. Honeybrink can see Andrews just ahead, but that 20 car looks like he's playing it better safe than sorry. A good run, though, for the Talladega winner. He's up to 7th, coming to 3 to go next time by. Aiden Norman has lapped everybody but Briley Wright. Talk about a throwback type of performance as well. You haven't seen runs like this in quite a long time, but the 62 making it work for him despite heavy Darlington stripes on the right-hand side. 3 laps to go for him, and he very well may end up as the first 3-time winner this season. Honeybrink getting passed by Seth Wansing, the LSU Chevrolet, now coming up behind Thomas Andrews. And Wansing looking to sneak into the top 6. The LSU machine. Makes light work of the defending champion in the 2. Wansing up into 6th. Cody Pinnell finds himself 3 seconds ahead of Jimmy Kerr in that 3rd position. Briley Wright in 2nd. This could be a resurgence for the Bluegrass Bandits. It's been a very up and down season for Briley Wright. Into this 9th round of competition, Briley is 18th in the points. This is going to catapult him up the ladder with 7 races remaining. Next week, we take the ARCS TNT Circus to Lime Rock. Not a joke. We're going to Lime Rock next week. That's going to be an awesome sight, seeing these stock cars go down the Sam Posey Straight, and we're going to bring some noise to iRacing's Lakeville, Connecticut. Fans at home, one last chance. We're closing the raffle, and we're about to throw the checkered flag on tonight's race in what has been a thrilling 9th round performance. Aiden Norman will win the CorvetteParts.net Challenge. Brilliant run for Norman, his 3rd victory of the season. He is unmatched and the first driver to reach 3 wins this season. Norman also winning that elite Matt DiBenedetto throwback diecast courtesy of the folks at Keen Parts. Briley Wright coming home in 2nd. Cody Pinnell scoring the bronze medal. We'll have top 3 in the podium in just a moment. Jimmy Kerr the 3rd, hardest charger of the race, finishing in 4th, 12 places up from where he started. So Aiden Norman will celebrate and burn the house down from Darlington, South Carolina. We're going to gather our top 3 drivers. Fans, don't go anywhere. Your round 9 CorvetteParts.net winner, Aiden Norman. On the podium now with our top 3 after a strategy-filled 9th round at the Lady in Black. 3rd place, cousin Cody Pennell with a brilliant drive tonight. And but for a caution or two, Cody, this could have ended up in 1st place.
Yeah, I just probably couldn't have gotten the strategy more wrong tonight. I pit on that second to last caution there because I didn't think I was going to make it on fuel. Come out and it was mixed up with lap cars and kind of mired back in the pack a little bit and driving it over my head off of turn 2 and just clobbered the wall. Got a meatball flag, and I think there was only like 30 laps to go, so I had to pit under green, get my fast repair, and get back going. But overall, pretty happy that I still finished on the podium and pretty good points tonight as far as gaining on Lurkin goes. Not sure where Aiden is, but the points battle just got a lot tighter up front. That's all I know.
Headed next week into Lime Rock Park, you are 8 points behind points leader Tom Sears, and you are 9 points ahead of Aiden Norman. Still 7 races remain in this season, and your first full-time TNT campaign could not be going, well, it could be going better, let's be honest, but it could be going a lot worse despite some of the incidents this season, man. But congratulations on that 3rd place.
Yeah, thank you, Rick James. Just gotta give a shout out to all these guys that do the TNT thing. It's a blast to run every week. I look forward to it. And yeah, you're right. Barring a few lag outs and unfortunate pit strategy calls, this season could be going a lot different. But just gonna try and keep looking forward and see if we can't close that gap a little bit more.
Our 2nd place finisher in the number 18 NOS Camry won Briley Wright, who came into this race 18th in the points. Briley, you gain 2 spots, and you're only 4 markers behind Richie Catania with Lime Rock waiting for you next week. How did you pull a silver medal out of this one?
Yeah, I just feel like I finally got lucky enough to put an entire TNT race together. Lately, these things I always just end up messing it up for myself. But I wish I would have pushed a little bit harder whenever I was behind Seth and Aiden there with 30 laps to go. I felt like I could have passed them, and the 9 maybe was kind of holding me up a little bit. And I'd give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'd kind of have to lift. And then whenever I would lift, I'd have to make all that ground back up again. And then by the time I was able to finally get around the 9, Aiden was getting going, and I'd done wore my tires out, and didn't have anything for him. So wish I could have probably got around them at that time, and I think I'd have been able to probably win this.
Next week, Lime Rock Park. It's going to be the wild card of the season. What can we expect from you there?
Probably not anything too good. We'll just say how it goes, I guess. Just hopefully finish on the lead lap there.
Well, only time can tell, man. Congratulations on 2nd, and say hi to the family for me. We'll see you in a week's time.
Alrighty, thank you, Rick.
Fans at home, before we go on to our race winner, Aiden Norman, let's pick a raffle winner, and it's K-Rex who wins that Tide Ride 3-pack. Congratulations, Rex. We'll be sending that in the mail. Hit us up on Twitter at RickJamesTV to find out how we can send that to you. And, of course, it goes without fail, we have to say a great word about our good friends over at CorvetteParts.net, the ultimate car part experience. From 1958 to today, they've got every Corvette part you need and exciting merchandise to accessorize your garage. From NASCAR diecast to throwback NASCAR apparel and your favorite Corvette-themed merchandise, CorvetteParts.net is the one-stop Corvette shop. Find out more at CorvetteParts.net or on Twitter at KeenParts. And now, our race winner, Aiden Norman, with your third victory this season. Your third in the points, ahead of Thomas Andrews by almost 40 points. Next week, headed into Lime Rock. Will it be your fourth win of the season?
I hope so.
Well, tell us about tonight. I mean, currently, it looks like nobody can stop you. And after tonight, people are expecting a lot from Lime Rock.
Yeah, I don't know if nobody can stop me, because I think tonight was just a little bit of luck mixed with that tiny bit of strategy that I just so happened to get right, right place, right time. But I think on the ovals, I'm not always going to be contending for the win, but hopefully Lime Rock, I can get me one more to round out the season, and then just rely on some top fives throughout the end and hopefully clinch that championship at the end of the season.
It's an incredible performance, certainly by any rookie in Thursday Night Thunder and at the Lady in Black, nonetheless. For now, Aiden, it's time to go celebrate. Congratulations on your third win of the season. We'll see you in a week.
Thank you, Rick.
Fans at home, 7 more races remain in the Thursday Night Thunder season. And once again, 7 nights from now, Lime Rock Park, the classic circuit. If you love racing, you're going to want to see these stock cars at Lime Rock. There's just no question about it. If you can't wait until then, Monday night we've got Trucks Playoffs. The AER Trucks will be in action again. My esteemed thanks to everybody who puts these broadcasts together, the good folks over at CorvetteParts.net, and of course you, the fan, who without none of this is possible. So until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will see you all around the corner.